Here's a look at the lineup. 18 laps into our second Gatorade Duel. Let's go to pit road. Dick Berggren.
Well, Matt Kenseth will pit out of the lead to the attention of his crew. Big conversation between Kenseth and his new crew chief, Chip Bolin, about what to do with the car. Kenseth has told him, that's up to you. You're the crew chief. So they've decided to make some minor adjustments to the car to try to tighten it up a little bit. Kenseth in particular concerned about the guys who are the go-homers. He doesn't want to get in their way. He doesn't want to spoil their chances of getting into the Daytona 500.
And Mike, I can appreciate that, because the last thing a driver wants to hear from the crew chief is, what do you want to do? What do you mean what I want to do? You're the guy in there calling the shots.
Looks like to me the only one left on the racetrack is Brett Bodine in the pace car. Dick.
Well, here's Kenseth now. They've allowed an 8th man to go over the wall to do the windshield and service the driver, Matt.
And in the bottom of your screen, Jeff Gordon, he says his car is good. I really don't want any changes on this 24 machine. Steve.
Same thing for Michael Walters, Matt. He said my car is perfect, perfect, perfect. Don't touch it. Just change tires. He said I have a car capable of winning the Daytona 500.
I know one thing, the crew chief may be different, but the killer bees, that pit crew for Matt Kenseth, they look the same as they've always have.
Kenseth and Casey Kane, the first one's out.
Blaney stalled the motor on his car. You can see him pushing it there. They can only push it so far, new rule.
Pit stop's complete. A lot of speedy dry to clean up in turn 4, though. Getting set for a restart after pit stops. Trouble for Dave Blaney. His car would not fire leaving his pit. Eventually, they got him push started, and Blaney will rejoin tail end of the field. There is still a bit of cleanup to be done in turn number 4. Not sure. I believe we're going to go green this time. We'll see.
You see Blaney right here. He's getting ready to come out of his pit box. And you can only go to 3 pits past your own. So he can only go to about right along in there. And then they got to back up and try it again.
And that's a new rule that NASCAR put in place for 2008. Mainly for safety. We are getting a report that it's a battery issue on the 22 car.
Man, how can it be a battery issue? We hadn't run with this a few laps, 20 laps. I'll be able to cut everything off and be okay.
All right, they've waved off a restart. We're going to look for one to go at the line. Matt?
Mike, before the pit stop, concern in the Tony Stewart pit about a possible engine problem. Smoke said the motor was very flat, not crisp at all, especially while idling under caution. He switched to the backup ignition box. He says now it appears that the motor is fine.
Well, one thing, I'm glad they rethought that one to go and went up there and got that stay dry cleaned up. That was bothering me a little bit.
There you see Boris said, Mike talked about it before the race. We know that he did not race his way into the Daytona 500, but he is pulling. In fact, he's sitting on David Rudiman's pit box because he's pulling for David Rudiman to race his way in, and Boris would be in on speed.
Dick Berggren.
With Jacques Villeneuve, he has now walked out of the care center. How big a setback is this to your program, an unsponsored car out of the top 35 in points?
Well, that's a big setback. It's a shame because the whole crew, the whole team had worked really hard to get us here. The car was really fast. It was just a little bit too loose now, and we got loose one time too many.
Well, this speaks volumes about how difficult this racing is. Yeah, and we're going to try to run right over here to Stanton Barrett. Stanton, tell us about what happened out there, bud.
I don't know. I had a great car with a NOS Energy Chevrolet, and we were making our way to the front and made a move and got up in the back. But we had a car to make the race today. Just unfortunate for us. And I don't know. I saw a car check up. I was already outside of them, and then I could see way in the corner of my eye some smoke, and I knew there was something going on. And then I saw Jacques' car come up in front of me and took a hard impact and took us out of the race. But thank God everybody's all right, and we're able to all race again the next week. And we'll try to go have fun next on the Busch race Saturday. And it's a real bummer for us because I think we really had a car to make the race this year.
But he is a just never give up guy. We'll see you next week in California.
You don't get anywhere giving up.
And you know the thing about Stanton, I don't know how many people will remember the Rocket Man, but his father, who raced in Cup racing at one time, was with the Skull Bandit and Hal Needham in that crowd, and they're sweet, sweet people, good people.
Sad thing is that's his car. He's the car owner as well. And the good news, everybody is okay that was involved in that crash. Ken Schrader, a 2-time pole sitter for the Daytona 500, moves up now into green. He is currently in the field. That car has all the colors on our graphic plus purple on it somewhere, but right now he is in the Daytona 500 based on his running position. He and Patrick Carpentier in the number 10, the Valvoline car, are the two cars that right now are in position. Right behind Schrader, Dale Jarrett, John Andretti, David Rudiman, Eric McClure trying to race their way in. Pace cars in will complete 22 of 60 laps as they take the green.
See the Fox track speed build there, brought down to about 65 to 70 miles per hour to take the green flag.
Think things will settle down for a while?
You know,
I don't know why I would, but I hope.
You know, I do think it will possibly for a little bit. We've got 38 laps to go. Everyone can make it from here on fuel, but we have to remember we're maybe not completely out of a tire situation just yet.
Looking back for Michael Waltrip at the defending 500 champion, Kevin Harvick.
Sounds like he likes that 55 car today. Says he got a car that can win the 500, and certainly where he's starting, he'll have every opportunity, and he's driving down under Kevin Harvick right here. Or is that Matt Kenseth? Sorry about that.
Turns 1 and 2 in deep shade. 3 and 4 still in bright sunlight.
And they get tight off the 2 over there.
Boy, Jeff Gordon got to the high side. He got to run off.
He did, and he was rim riding. I mean, just like he is right now. He went around that high side, running her wide open.
And he's getting a push from his former teammate Kyle Busch in that 18 car.
Here they come. Got one smoking off turn 4
Blaney.
there.
That'll be Blaney.
Apparently he doesn't know it.
Caution will wave.
Caution's out. Come on.
As certain we can't say it's the same problem, but remember the Toyotas, they have been flirting with engine problems the entire speed week so far.
Well, that's not a battery problem.
No, not at all. We're hearing that Michael Waltrip did beat Jeff Gordon back to the scoring loop, which is actually, I think when the caution came out, that one was at the start-finish line, so he is the leader.
Something to remember about these engines. We're turning these engines about almost 1,000 RPM more than we did a year ago. They're making about 50 more horsepower than they did about a year ago. So these engines are going through some cycles here that we haven't seen ever at Daytona.
Steve Burns, what's wrong with Blaney?
Mike was just listening to Dave talk to his crew chief, Tommy Baldwin. At first, he thought an oil line may have come off. He said he didn't feel this engine seize up, but he has no oil pressure. They're going to take it to the garage.
Blaney is in the 500 based on car owner points.
And that's, you know, Dave Blaney last year had the best Toyota all year long. Had an opportunity a couple, 3 times, I thought, to win a race. Always plagued by bad luck. Cut a tire down, get in a wreck of no fault of his own, have something like this happen. Boy, if he could just get that monkey off his back, I believe he could win some races.
Boris said still sitting on top of David Rudiman's pit box.
Right now, Rudiman is not among the 2 transfer positions. That's Patrick Carpentier and Kenny Schrader.